Well, I'm live. This is unpredictable. I didn't put a message out there, but for all you watching replay, welcome everybody. Tonight we're going to do a brief topic with regards to cleansing the body. And cleansing the body to me is based upon three things. And the first thing being cleansing the body of negative energy. That to me is one of the most profound things we can do. And yet most people in general, 95%, never ever cleanse their body, ever. They have no idea about cleansing the body. The second thing is to cleanse the stress from the physical body. So that's more of a physical issue. And that is coupled with the spiritual cleansing. So if you cleanse yourself spiritually speaking, you help cleanse the physical, those emotions that we hold on to, the suffering, the pain, the turmoil, the grief, the anguish, all of those feelings that really pull us down and we feel down, which lowers the immune system, which then causes a lot of issues in our body. So we can really say that really contributes to a lot of the issues that we have. So cleansing emotion is a wonderful thing. And then you go down to the kind of basic, which is cleansing through what you put in your mouth or what you don't put in your mouth. So this is, all of these three things are connected, and you really can't do one without the other. So a lot of the times, a lot of my clients used to say, well, it's not working. I've changed my diet, but it's not working. That's right, because that's only part of the cleansing process. So for me, the most powerful cleansing process was to do healing, to heal myself on a spiritual level, because there's something so profound in finding that spiritual balance. Because through the spiritual path that you walk, which is the path of finding the peace and joy, finding the best friend inside yourself, finding the answers to the unresolved issues you had in a spiritual sense, finding out who you truly are, what's your purpose, and so on. So by getting to that state, everything else heals. So it's incredible. So I got to say, I hold my hand up. I used to eat meat. I used to drink fizzy drinks. I used to have a beer every now and again. And when I was a healer, I was okay. I was actually healing many things. But what I noticed was when I started really focusing on the next level, which is resolving my issues with family, resolving my issues with people, resolving my issues with work, with home life, with people around me, friendships and acquaintances, resolving those situations of people who, hated me. And when I started to resolve those things, what that means is to become stronger than the issues, to realize that you're more important than those silly things that you waste your time on. And actually wasting your time on that not only wastes your time to do productive things, but it also causes illness in your body. It is absolutely true. You don't need no evidence in the sense of science. I just mentioned that in one of my posts today to Barbara, who's fantastic, and she keeps talking about science, and I'm like, science? What has science ever? Why are we even going to science? Why are we even talking about science? Look what science has done to all of us. Well, to a lot of us in these past 3 years. So don't even talk about science anymore, because science is a joke. It's not even worth its weight. So just don't even talk about science. What we should talk about is actually what we are. Science is no longer science, so you can't use that word, right? But what we should be saying is the effect, the after effect, and what we see within ourselves. Forget the word science, throw it in the bin. It's pure evil now, so get rid of it. So when you start to realize that, hey, I resolved an issue with a friend, I resolved this issue, I move forward, I let go. You can use forgiveness, you can use, acceptance is a good one, right? Forgiveness, acceptance, let it go, move forward, send love to that person. Don't try and fix them. Don't try and prove yourself to anybody, right? Because all you're doing is wasting your energy, and they love that. People love that because you're actually putting your energy into what they're saying, as if what they're saying is important, and it's not. Whatever you say about me isn't important, and what I say about you isn't important. It isn't. It just isn't important. We might start to focus on it and look at it and then bring importance to it, bring energy to it, but it's not really important. What's important is who you are, what you do, and when you look in the mirror, know thyself. Know thyself. Because the ones who don't know thyself truly end up fighting, arguing, bickering. So we all need to work on that daily. I am no exception. So know yourself. And a good way is just look at who you are. A lot of the times when we are feeding the demons and the negative energies out there and the negative people out there who are lost, when we feed that, it strengthens them. They love it, but it weakens you. And it weakens you on so many levels. And that's why you get cold, you get flu, you get, you vent a lot because you're storing built up energy, which is bad energy, negative energy. So we need to clear that away. So you can only do it by just saying, you know what, it's true, you can't fix stupid. Some people are stupid, and you go down to stupid level, and they're geniuses, they're experts at stupid. So you're not going to win. So let it go, move on. If you've got something to say, release it, get it out, but move on. Don't hold on to it all day. That's where the trick is. Don't hold on to negativity all day. Don't think about it. Don't let it fester in your mind, which then spurts over as a dirty, brown, rusty energy that pours down all the way into the stomach. And sometimes it does literally cause illness. It can be the one element where cancer can start. So you've got your poisons, what you're putting in your mouth, which are all, in supermarkets are all poisons. You've got your Coca-Colas, you've got all of these things, you've got all the, let's say, well, they're all poisons, basically. They're all cancer-causing poisons. So you've got your aspartame, aspartame. There's so many different, they pronounce it, and there's so many different words they use now. But let's talk about, all of those things that you love the taste of, which is basically there to fool you and to cause great illness and sickness in so many ways. It's so bad. It's so bad. You have no idea how bad it really is. So when anybody's trying to put food colorings and tasters in, you're just basically killing yourself because your body just does not know what to do with that. And that is actually true in the same way as when you are stressing about other people and worrying about what other people think about you. So your body doesn't know what to do with it. So what am I going to do with this? And you're storing it. And the more you're thinking about it, the more it stores in the mind, the more it's spilling over, like that glue from, Ghostbusters when they're screaming at that I think it's like a green glue, and they're screaming at it, and it just bloop, 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 and it gets bigger and bigger. It's exactly the same. There's the metaphor in there, right? So you're creating more of that really disgusting goo in your body, and it sits in the body and causes great pain. It can cause pain, especially to the back. So when you've been attacked by somebody, one thing I noticed as a healer is that if you've got problems with your back, it's because people are attacking you. So it's a lot of the times that attack is strangers, not so much, but people that you love, when they attack you and say bad things behind your back, it affects you behind your back. So these are the things that we need to heal from and let go of. And I've spent 2 decades trying to help people let these things go. In Wales, nobody really gives a shit about you at all. They'll say something about you, but they don't care really. They don't give a damn. They want it. They're just trying to be something that they're not. When people exaggerate and when people are saying these big things online and saying stuff, it's because they've got no life. Because anybody with a real life don't bitch and talk about other people because they're too busy in their happy life. So, and in truth, when people see these shock things like, oh, you know, you're on Facebook with friends, and then, oh, Shirley did something horrible today. She's not who she says she is. She's this and she's that. Nobody really gives a crap at all. In fact, they look at the person who's moaning and saying nasty things and thinking, look, they're probably in a bad place. You're going to get a few kind of elements that will attach to it and fuel it because they enjoy it. They enjoy being in that cesspit. But to be fair, you don't want to be in that cesspit. So it is better to let people go rather than trying to fix it, trying to apologize all the time, trying to resolve it, trying to put your case forward to it. They're not bothered. They're not bothered. They enjoy this energy. And if they're putting it out there anyway, it's because they want to put it out there, not because they want to resolve anything with you. So you've got to learn to discern what is important and what isn't. So for me, my most favorite person that comes and knocks on my door or meets me and says, you know, I've got a bit of an issue with you, I prefer that than them piling it all on the internet saying nasty things, which I used to get many years ago when I was here because of my first mentor, that she was spreading terrible, terrible rumors of the most awful type. So I got used to that, understanding who was on her side and why they were on her side. And the ones who were on her side were normally very much similar to her. Nasty, bitter, judgmental, always wanting to have a go at somebody, jealous. And I'm like, so good, at least I know where they are now. So I turned it to my advantage. You stay with her because that's what like attracts like. And then good people came and said, are you okay, Mark? And like, yeah, I just really upset about all of this. I just wish it would go away. And what I didn't realize, it didn't go away because I wouldn't let it go away. So I was fueling it by focusing on it. And the only way you can let go and cleanse your body of these things is to do certain things. And one of the things that changed my life was I placed my hand over my head and one hand out like this, and I just kept repeating the words, no one has the power over me, until it actually sunk in. We say words, but sometimes we don't really know what they mean until we really know what they mean. And there are certain prayers that we can say, and we just say the prayers, but we don't know what they mean until we really know what they mean. So by saying no one has the power over me and really meaning that, then you realize that actually nobody has the power over you. And every time I say something negative about somebody else, they have the power over me. And it happens daily. So I have to try every day to try and watch myself be pulled into what they want, because that's exactly what they want. You know, it's all fueling what they want, because there's no such thing as bad press to negative people, because they're the center of attention. So you think Bill Gates hates it when people say nasty things about him? No, he's not like you. He doesn't come from the same place as you. He comes from a different source, a different place, and they feed from that. They smile and feed from it. And the more pain and suffering they do, the more they grow and feel more powerful. Whereas if somebody said something like that to you, you'd just fall into a corner and curl up in a ball, right? Same here, I would. So, you know, we understand that we are different. We're sensitive, we're loving, we're kind, we're caring, but we also have to become our greatest power, our greatest light. The flame has to be stronger than any darkness that pours upon us. And these tests are given to us. So I've often mentioned that I've had my tests. I've been on TV and I was called the blind date rat for 7 years. Approached, slapped, poured drinks over me, nasty guys wanting to beat me up. I've been through it all. So I understand that. I'm over that. But still, even today, we still, being sensitive, we still feel things. But I've got stronger and stronger and stronger because of those issues. Cleansing your body with sage, Palo, Santo, cleansing your body with natural oils, cleansing your body by doing certain wonderful things where you can go to beautiful places in the world and just feel the waterfall fall over you and clear yourself with that natural ozone. Go into the sea and just immerse yourself in the sea, or just sitting next to the sea. The negative energy will pour off you. It will clear. And there are so many different forms of negative energy. One such energy that I noticed more than anything is dirty energy. So dirty energy is that what attaches to you that doesn't belong to you. And then there's negative energy, which is normally what you produce by your negative thoughts. And then there's dark energy, which is that energy is really heavy stuff, which is, let's say, entities, spirit trapped, attachments, demonic energies. So there's a vast amount of different energies all the time. Dirty energy is energy that is from the computer. Dirty energy is that what, Starlink is shooting down at us. The chemtrail sprayed on us daily. This is dirty poison energy that lands on our skin, and it actually is attached to our aura. And sometimes you can see pockets and fragments of it as a healer, and you clear that away. You might use a feather to clear it away. You might use your hand. You might cup, or you might comb that away to clear it away. And there's nothing more powerful than being by the sea. The sea is a natural vacuum cleaner that sucks that and clears it away. That's why you always feel better. Sunshine. If you are in the sunshine, you will find that your energy life force strengthens, and it will clear and melt away all that negative energy within and around you. So the sun is vital for our healing inside and out. So these are the amazing things. Anything that you put, as in, people might use rosemary. I like sage. I like Palo Santo. I burn this. That goes into my aura and it clears it away. It is absolutely fantastic. So by cleansing, it's the same thing, your body temple, you do this from the outside in. So there are certain things that you can use daily that are phenomenal of clearing the body temple. But I found that if you keep using one thing daily, your body gets used to it. So it's good to take breaks. So I like to have, on a daily basis, fresh ginger. I take it in ginger shots with apple, fresh apple, or I'll take it with apple and curcumin, turmeric. So I'll have my shots daily, but then sometimes I'll stop and then go on to something else. So I drink Parasite Cleanse. So I have my Parasite Cleanse, which is mugwort. Sometimes I'll use mugwort and wormwood, which is an intensive. And then I'll just go back to the mugwort and sage, and I'll drink that tea. And it, there's a difference all the time. My body is changing, and I'm now taking mimosa. And somebody says, "Oh, don't take folic acid." It's not folic acid, actually. If you look carefully, you can see what it says underneath it. So anyway, the most important thing for me is feeding my body with medicine, which is whole foods, grains, pulses, beans, and vegetables and fruits. And I eat that daily. And I'm always looking at certain fruits through the day to what it feels right to cleanse my body. So I look at foods more like as a medicine now rather than something to fill my stomach. Whereas before, I used to just look at a bowl of food and say, okay, I'm full now, I'll get back on with work. Now I see it as something completely different. I spend my day feeling what feels right to eat that day. So that's something you can work on. There are so many ways of cleansing inside the body. And I think the best way is to stop eating anything from a supermarket and start eating organic. Once you start eating organic, whether it's meat, whether it's fish, I don't care. I'm not saying do or don't, but eat it and make sure it's grass-fed, it's freshly caught. If I eat fish, I don't eat meat anymore because I choose not to. But if I do eat fish, it's only because it's freshly caught, so it's caught locally. I don't eat it all the time, every now and again, but I do eat daily fruits and vegetables, and I choose that wisely. So these are some of the things that you can think about to introduce into your diet. Anything like Coca-Cola, any fizzy drinks, any sweets, which are, let's say, if it's not organic in nature. So if we go for cocoa, chocolate, 80%, 70%, a little bit of that. I just keep away from sweets in general. But every now and again, I will have something bio, organic, but I'll make sure I'm looking at what I'm eating. It's vastly important for your longevity these days. If you want to look younger, if you want to feel younger, if you want to be free from illness, then there's only one thing you can do, and that is to be your own master, to be your own chef, to be your own picker of the right fruits and vegetables which are healthy for you, making sure that the vegetables come from locally sourced produce, that they're not being injected with RNA, DNA, which fruits are now, and all the other crap that comes with it. And they're not Monsanto seeds, bioseeds, which are not real seeds anymore, you know. So we have to start to be the professor in our life. And at one time I used to think that was OTT. And now I realize it's not at all. It's so important. It's so important. So cleansing the body, both mind, body, and spirit, these are the things that I do on a daily basis. It's a practice. And whatever I focus on through the day, and I'm very blessed to be focused on crystals, incense, and oils. That's my work. That's my job. So how blessed am I to work with the frequency of the crystal, work with the oil of Mother Nature, and beautiful incense that Mother Earth gives us. That's what I work on a daily basis. And this kind of thing is a frequency that really makes me stronger daily. Working with it, using it, and selling it is a blessing. So I think if we can, whatever we do, I often used to say to my clients who worked in big offices, there's no reason why you can't get yourself just at the side of your desk, create a little kind of, I don't know, a little place where you can put your crystals and things that you love. So it's your little place. And so if somebody's being funny with you, arguing with you, just turn your seat to that little beautiful place for the crystals and pick a few crystals up, close your eyes, meditate and breathe. So, you know, when I'm dealing with the computer as I am today, I've got it in front of me. I've got all of this. I've also got many different forms of stuff like this. This is what I sell on my website. I had it made specially for my phone. So my phone goes in there like so. It goes into and then sits there. Oh, it's very nice. So it reduces the energy of really heavy, really radioactive, nasty energy. And there's another beautiful piece as well off on my website. Beautiful piece of shungite. So there's two beautiful pieces of shungite. What I wear around my neck normally, and what I consider the most powerful crystal for cleansing in my whole collection, I would always go, and you probably already know, is Tektite. Tektite for me is the most beautiful crystal of cleansing. And why? Because it's the only crystal that I ever saw negative energy being sucked into the crystal and absorbing instantly and disappearing. So I wear this often, depending on what's going on that day. If my heart feels a bit achy because I feel bad about a relationship or love, then I wear it higher up to the heart. If I've got, if I'm struggling to say things, I bring it right up. because it's going around the throat, because everything that you can't say is a block here. Everything that you can't, you know, express yourself and feel is in the heart. And then if it's a really bad day, if I've had loads of shit from so many people, then it goes right down to my belly button. Because like I said, if people are talking about you behind your back, saying nasty, nasty things, it sits on your back. So I will use Tektite as that crystal to help. I also really, really love the oil, which is called Palo Santo. Palo Santo, I use the oil from the tree and I rub it on my back when I'm getting a really bad day. When it's a really bad day, I rub it on my back. And if I'm doing cleansing, if I'm doing healing work, I rub it on my back. Because if you're getting round your back and lower down, you're healing that through this beautiful and powerful healing tree. So I use that there. If I'm doing, like, my mind is like thinking about stuff that isn't important, I quickly get the either sacred oil or I'll get the cleansing oil and just rub it. Cleansing oil is probably the best because it's pure Palo Santo with a carrier oil. So rub here, back of the neck is always a good one. Rub in your hands, breathe through the nose. And sometimes, you know, if you're getting a bit of a headache, sometimes up here, I'll rub some up here. Back of the ears is a good one. If I've got issues, like I said, with the throat and I'm bringing this up here because I'm struggling to speak, I'll rub it across my throat. It's beautiful. And then again, if you're struggling with heart issues, rub it on the heart. Again, if you've been attacked, you rub it on your stomach as well as your back. So these are the things what I would normally do as a practice from day to day. No one has the power over me. Eat health, eat medicine, and always clear the issues of other people. Your life, your health is more important than other people's negativity and weaknesses. And these are the things that are important. So if you want to break that kind of beautiful pattern mold, then smoke, then drink, because you'll break everything and you will bring in a lot of negativity. If you want to break that, then start to take drugs. You're breaking free from something that you're trying to create, which is a healthy body, which is a healthy mind, which is a healthy soul, which is the most beautiful, pure body temple. As soon as you start putting things into there, you don't know what you're going to do and what's going to crack and what's going to break and what's going to happen. You have no idea. So for me, when people say, oh, but surely you take ayahuasca, surely you take, you know, this and this, and no, don't. I don't, mate. What I do though, mate, is I meditate. And I meditate with all my heart. I sit down and send love. I heal people and send healing to people. And you know what? I don't think there's anything that can touch that. When you are really in your blissful mood, when your mind is at peace, when your body is healthy, free from stress and worry, when you become more powerful than those that pull you down and say negative things, when you let these things go of your family and friends that attack you and you just forgive them all and send them love, you create an energy that heals mind, body, and spirit. You clear on a cellular level so many things in the physical body when you do these things. But the three work so well together. Added with a little bit of exercise, you've got the perfect combination of having the most beautiful protection around you. As a healer over these years, I used to see energy around people, and the more I started doing healing work over the 1, 2, 3 years, and I was getting a lot of clients coming with cancer, so I was seeing the energy around people all the time. Some people would come free of disease, and I could see a frequency around them which was bright, vibrant, and very, very large, sometimes to the extent that I'm trying to see where the energy stops, and sometimes I couldn't see it. Literally couldn't see where it stopped. It just reached out from them. And I've met maybe a handful of people like that. And I tell you this, from them handful of people that I met with that kind of energy, I always used to ask them certain questions just to see, where is this person in their mind? Where are they in their body? And you know, physically, mentally, emotionally, where are they? And it was always the same thing. They were happy. They were filled with joy. They were in peace. Did they have issues in life? Yes, but they didn't affect them. Did they have physical issues? Yeah, but it didn't affect them. Little issues, they weren't big issues. They didn't focus on them. They were okay. And like, how do you balance your life like this? And it was simple. They put themselves first. And this is something that this modern world, the Western world, it just doesn't, what are you talking about? Put yourself first. I can't put myself first. I've got to think about this. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. I've got to do this. And I can't be that selfish. And I used to see it all the time. And I'm like, but hang on a minute. I met this lady called Barbara who had an accident, and the doctor said that she'd never fix herself. Now she's walking, right? They said she'd never walk again. She's walking now, and she's thankful for everything, everything. Is she in pain? Yeah, but she don't mourn about it. She's just thankful for everything, and I can see the healing process. And does she hate anybody? She doesn't hate anybody. She loves everybody. She never says nothing negative about anybody, right? So you're like, you know, go home and say, I'm starting to recognize something. People who just focus on themselves and love people as they do themselves, and do kind things and work on themselves and just shine in a way that, you know, you've got to keep saying this. If I'm going to help you, I don't want to help you at a percentage on a battery life of 50%. I want to help you when my battery life's 100%. Can't do that if you're always focused on everybody else. So you've got to go away and you've got to say no sometimes. Oh, I'd love to help, but just at the moment, I'm not strong enough. I just don't feel good at the moment, but I'd love to help. As soon as I'm better, and if you need my help, I'm there. But just at this moment, if I help you now, I think I'll probably end up getting sick. I'll probably end up getting flu. I'll feel like I've got ill. My immune system's low. So, you know, and it's this idea of this power of not saying sorry, but just saying at this moment, I'm not up to it. But as soon as I'm better, I'll be there and I'll try my best to be there, you know? So, I see so many beautiful souls, so many earth angels sick, so many earth angels sad and upset about everything. And when I used to heal them, it used to be the same thing over and over again. They were sick and ill because they always put everybody else first and never, ever thought about themselves, ever. They thought that their life was solely to help other people. And in that, they believed it. But their consciousness was trying to tell them that this isn't right. And it's not fair. It's not universal exchange, because they knew that if they were to ask somebody for help who they helped every day, they probably wouldn't get it back. And their conscience said, this person isn't actually really, truly appreciating your help. They expect your help, and they'll get angry if you don't help them because you've stepped over the line from living your life to now living their life, and they expect that. And we've all done it. I've lived so many people's lives so that they can just sit down and do nothing. And I'm like, no, hang on a minute. I didn't do this so you can just sit down and relax. I was here to help. Now you're just lying down, enjoying watching me doing all the help. And then they get angry because whose fault is it? It's your fault. Your fault because they're expecting it now, because that's what people do. Selfish. Most people are generally selfish, and they don't even realize it sometimes. So these are the things that we have to figure out by way of, you know, lie down, have a healing session. How do you feel? I feel a lot better now. I'm so glad I came. Yeah, you should come more often. And maybe what you should do is just give yourself a bit more of a break. Oh, I can't. I've got to do this. I says, okay, I'll see you then next week then. you know, ready for it to come back, because it takes a week before she's on her knees again and she can't cope. So she comes back for cleansing and clearing and healing, which strengthens her up again, until she wakes up one day from a healing session and she says, right, I now know what I need to do. Meaning that she's figured out that she's her own worst enemy, and that she's no good for anybody, and that she's going to end up in an early grave, and her longevity is just disappearing, and she's looking older by the day. Why? Do you think that the end of the world is going to stop if you say no to somebody? Do you think if you died, I used to say this, do you think if you died today that your children and everybody else would just stop? You think everything would just stop? And they go, what do you mean? I said, well, do you think if you weren't here today, do you think that they would just die? No, they'd be fine. I say, well, exactly. So have some time off and leave your children. Let them be, let them grow, let them do things, trust them, give them some responsibility. What about your friend who's always telling you, just say no this time. Just say, I need a break, a week off. I need 2 weeks off. And then eventually you start to realize, only then when you start to have the confidence to say no, but you're not actually saying no, you're saying yes to yourself. You're not saying no. And this is the way darkness gets us. This is the way evil gets us, because it sees us as weak and vulnerable and easy to cheat, and even people who are good will do it. They'll know I can ask her. I can ask that anytime. They'll do it for me. They'll do it for me. There's no, you know, you might think that when somebody asks you to do something, you might think they really truly appreciate it, but not always, guys. I know this sounds awful, but not always. A lot of people expect. They really do. And you know the difference of people who really appreciate and who expect. I had to walk away from my home country to find my freedom and peace. I couldn't do it in England because I was the go-to for anybody who'd had any issues, you know, and I need to move, Mark. I need you to help me, Mark. I need you. Whenever I needed help, I just didn't know who to ask, and I didn't want to ask anybody. I was going to do it myself. So I realized that this balance, this scales, is not in my favor in life, and I needed to make a fresh start. And that's what I did. I moved to another country and made a fresh start, and started looking at me, started thinking about me, because I'd never thought about me for all those years. Never. And it's a hard thing to look at yourself, because, you know, who's your best friend? It's not you. Your best friend is everybody else that you're helping. So to cleanse and clear yourself, you have to find out who you are, and you have to become your best friend. And by doing that, you instantly start to heal yourself and cleanse yourself of the most negative trauma, issues, worries, fears. And it happens in a very beautiful way. It happens because when you look at yourself and nobody's there to distract you, you start to listen to your consciousness, because that's the only time your consciousness can speak, because the rest of the time you're running around like a chicken with your head chopped off. So you don't listen to anything. You just listen to the brain, which is just a tool which tells you, you know, what you've been programmed to do. So when you switch that off and you start listening to your consciousness, when you ask yourself who you are, the consciousness is so excited, but then there's a battle between the heart and mind. The mind is getting angry because it's saying, what the hell are you doing? Stop listening to that consciousness. You listen to me. So then there's a big battle goes on, and then you start to look at yourself, and then you start to see in the mirror who you truly are. And it is a very painful feeling, because it's not all about helping other people. It certainly is part of the journey. Helping people is part of the journey. So is giving, so is sharing, so is a cuddle, so is being creative. But ultimately, you're here for experience in the sense of knowing who you are. If you're always in the brain, you'll never know who you are. You're just an automaton. You're just a robot. You're just a programmed, brainwashed spacesuit. That's it. But when you go into your consciousness and sit and meditate and start to feel these new feelings that you've never felt before, there can be many, many people who are healers who have come here have gone through the cleansing, and there's nothing more powerful than having a 4-day intensive healing course. Nothing more powerful. I can tell you that as a fact. So I often used to say to people who used to laugh at me at the beginning when they were sat down, welcome to the Pure Energy Healing Academy. Welcome to this 4 days life-changing course. After these 4 days, you will know who you are far more than you've ever done, and you will feel things that you've never felt before. You might have terrible headaches through the night. You might not be able to sleep at all through the night. But then the next night you might do. You might find that you're doing healing sessions. You might start coughing terribly, and you might start having hiccups. You might actually literally throw up. And I got to the point where part of my course introduction was, if anybody is sick, would you please clean up your own sick? Because I'm sick of cleaning up other people's sick. And this is a venting, it's a purging of all your suffering and pain that you've held in. So it can be in so many ways. Okay, so this is what we need to cleanse from our body. And a great start is by meditating. And meditating isn't a set way. There's no set way to meditate. Nobody can meditate like somebody who's meditated for 50 years. Nobody can meditate like me. I can't meditate like you. So it's not a competition. It's not how many years you've done it. It's just finding you. So the battle of the heart and mind is through meditation. So the battle is your mind just keeps telling you, keeps talking to you, keeps telling you to just shut up, just stop. Please just stop. And it takes time and it takes effort. But within that time and effort, and I don't know how long it will take, but it's beautiful. See, when you're healing people on a one-to-one level, it's a different frequency. You're working in a different energy. It's so high in vibration that you purge much easier, you vent much easier, you release much easier. So a lot of the times when the healers were in this room or the next room doing healings on clients that would come, I would be, hovering around waiting for them to break down. So they'd go in outside, would shut the door, and they'd cry in my arms, or this is grown men, not just women, and they'd release, and then they'd say thank you. They'd just look at me and say thank you. It's not crying with pain and suffering, it's crying with releasing. And so I was very used to this. This was very normal because I've been through it. I know all of that because I went through it more than anybody. So it was beautiful to watch, and that is real healing. That is real cleansing. To heal others, to heal thyself is beautiful. So these are just a few things that I wanted to share with you today on this live. I hope you appreciate it. If you're here for the replay, just maybe digest some of the things that felt right to you and work with them. Don't overload yourself. You can always come back and re-listen to this. And you often find, like a book, you'll read a book one day and then read it in a year's time, and something will just touch you so powerfully that didn't touch you the first time. And the reason why is because your path changes moment by moment. And along that journey, you will be given certain messages within messages that will just make you shake, or you'll feel something so profound. Write it down, whether it's in your consciousness, write it in your consciousness, write it down on a piece of paper, remember it, and follow through with it, because there's nothing more heartbreaking than wasted spiritual enlightenment that you feel and you know is for you. So I'll leave it there, and I'm wishing you all a lovely, lovely evening, guys. I hope you appreciate just this 44 minutes of love and things that I've learned, and you probably already know all of this, but it's a nice reminder from time to time. I wish you a lovely evening. I'm going to go home and give Lily a cuddle now, and I'll see you tomorrow, sometime tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Love you all. Bye for now.